Welcome to a video of some parts of Oshkosh 2023 exhibition. Jean was visiting her family in the Akron area in July, and she agreed to spend a couple days at Oshkosh with me. As my wristband shows, it's the world's greatest aviation celebration. We packed my RV trailer with supplies and headed to Oshkosh Sunday, deciding to spend full days on Tuesday and Wednesday there. Arriving there Monday afternoon, about 3 p.m., we checked into the campground, bought tickets to the exhibition for Tuesday and Wednesday, and started looking for a campsite. Wow, never saw it so full before in spite of recently added areas. Basic sites are not assigned or marked, and you must allow at least 10 feet between units, so we went looking for a spot of grass. Took a while, but we found a spot next to the intersection of two driveways in the campground, which turned out to be very interesting. The video on the roof of my trailer looks to the horizon, seeing nothing but tents and trailers. The final report from EAA said there were more than 13,000 sites in aircraft and drive-in camping, accounting for an estimated 40,000 visitors camping. So when you wake up on Tuesday, you might ask yourself, what am I going to do today? Well, grab the visitor's guide and you can look through the daily events listings. And for Tuesday, there's 5 full pages with about 50 things on each page, including wood construction, gas welding, engine disassembly, lubrication and Lycoming engines booth, so many things. One thing I decided to go see was the review of wildlife at airports presented by USDA wildlife biologists at the International Federal Pavilion. Final EAA report says there were 1,400 forums, workshops, and presentations hosted throughout the week. Next question is, how do you get there from your campsite? Well, you can ride your bicycle and park it in one of the 5 storage areas, or you can ride the bus from the campground to one of the entry points. The school buses carry about 75 people each and run about every 5 to 10 minutes. Jean and I took a walk through the Boeing Plaza where some of the unusual planes are displayed. This is the big Guppy, and here is the A-10 Warthogs in front of it. The Guppy with its nose closed, and here is Jean standing in front of the Guppy. Here's a view of the Boeing Dreamlifter, a 747 with an enlarged fuselage set to carry parts from Europe for a 787. Compare the size of the people standing below the plane to the size of the plane. Next we see the V-22 Osprey sitting in front of a C-5 Super Galaxy. Some views of the inside of the C-5 Super Galaxy. I've been asked at times if there are going to be electric aircraft, and of course there's some out there flying now. This is a Casio 330 made by Volt Aero, a hybrid, which uses a motor with 3 electric 60 kilowatt motors and a 300 kilowatt internal combustion motor, and reduces fuel consumption by 50%. The next aircraft is totally electric, called the Whisk, and has been designed to be an autonomous urban air delivery taxi. This aircraft designed to carry 4 people with luggage from point A to point B. This aircraft is all electric, 12 rotors, no pilot, and became subsidiary of Boeing earlier this year. Suggest you Google Whisk.aero, that's A-E-R-O, and see all the amazing facts of the development of this aircraft. This was another all-electric single-passenger plane, but a different design and concept. People sitting in the shade of a wing to get out of the sun. A flyover while we're walking amongst the planes. People parked their chairs to reserve a spot along the runway for their air show. Now it looks like this while the air show is on. The EAA final report, a record of 1,497 registered vintage aircraft in the vintage aircraft parking area. My favorite airplane at the show, a Piper Cherokee 235, perfectly restored, having won a EAA Reserve Grand Champion Award in 2022. Jean and I decided to go to the Warbird area parking ground and take the tram through to see the 380 warbirds that were on display there. As we were waiting for the tram, a P-51 came taxiing by, heading to the runway. A young lady getting experience sitting in the cockpit of a Corsair with the help of the owner. Getting out, she discovered, was a little more of a problem.
There you go. Now come over and grab your hand grip. Your right foot goes right there on the wing. About almost 10% of the airworthy.
This plane attracted my attention because above the wing is the attachment mechanism for attaching and releasing from a dirigible. Only two dirigibles in the world, the USS Akron and USS Macon. After the Warbird tram to see the 380 some warbirds in the Warbird area, Jean decided to go back to the trailer and rest her back for a while. The grounds in the Warbird area are a little rough and the tram ride is fairly bumpy. I decided to stay around the showground area as Jean went back to the trailer, visited the 4 large exhibition halls, toured around some of the areas with the planes, the home builts. There was over 1,000 home builts flown in. Walked through a little bit of the tie-down area for those. Every afternoon from 2:30 to 6:30, a slightly different air show is put on each day. And I really didn't stay to watch that very close. I didn't catch much of the Wednesday afternoon air show, and so I've borrowed some from, have been playing those along with this verbiage I've added. I would never try this in my Piper or any other plane as far as that's concerned. This is at Lake Winnebago, which had 134 seaplanes and amphibians over the week. It's very relaxing there. I like it. Lots of shade, not really overcrowded. It's a relatively short ride with EAA transportation from Whitman Field over to the airbase. This young lady is Alina Scott, who lives with her family in South Carolina. She is 14 years old and flew her ultralight aircraft over 1,000 miles from South Carolina to Oshkosh to participate in the world's largest air show. I believe it was a 6-day trip supported by her father traveling by car. Here she's taxiing to take off from the ultralight airstrip and do a flight around the ultralight flying area. It's the ultralight airstrip. She flies out over the campground area, and in the background you can see a wide clear strip there, and that's to provide emergency landing place for ultralights. It gave us a good view from our campsite of a lot of ultralights. As she turns left base to land back at the ultralight airstrip, below you can see aircraft that are tied down and camping. You don't really need an aircraft to fly. For supper at the trailer, Gene and I came down to the main area for the Wednesday night air show. Nighttime air shows are on Wednesday and Saturday nights starting at 8 o'clock. The Aeroshell acrobatic team was the first ones up, and they're my favorite. A couple paramotors flew over with flames out of their heels. Some paramotors flying after dark with lighted. We could see them almost every evening from our campsite. Gene thought they were very interesting. If you've watched the video to this point, which is the end, I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. And maybe we'll see you there next year.